All right. So here we are with, we're going to call this episode one or volume one of the Fire Chronicles. I am here in our lovely hotel room with a bit of a more long form update of the timeline of what we've experienced over the last 13 days. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks since the fire happened. I just sat down and took the time to kind of write out day by day what's been going on to kind of give a snapshot of what we've experienced and what you might expect if you have to go through this kind of experience yourself. I'm going to let the time on this one run a little bit longer, but I'll still try and keep it relatively brief. But since this is going to be up on YouTube instead of social medias, like the Facebooks and the Instagrams and whatnots, we'll let the form on this style of video go a little bit longer. But where are we right now? We are on day 13. Like I said, tomorrow is 2 weeks post-fire. And it's been a crazy 2 weeks. When I just sat down to kind of journal out what we've been through for the last 13 days, I was like, holy crap, it's been 2 weeks already. It feels more like it's been almost a week. So time flies when you're having fun, I guess. But here we are. But I'm going to start at the beginning and kind of run through what every day has been like for us. Day one, fire. Pretty straightforward. Day one was the fire. The fire started somewhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the evening. I had just left the house. Our oldest, our 13-year-old, was babysitting for the 20 minutes or so until my wife was going to get home from work. She called me while she was walking home from work across the street from the house. We chatted until she got there. I heard her go into the house, say hello to the kids, heard them kind of meander their way into the kitchen, and then I started hearing the kids say, "Mom, what's that noise? What's that smell?" And then my wife, "Oh my God, the house is on fire. You need to get home right away." And then the line cut out, and I was like, oh, crap. So I called up my 13-year-old because she knows this, but my wife tends to exaggerate from time to time. So I was like, can't be the house on fire. That's ridiculous. I was just there. So I call up my 13-year-old, Jake, what's going on? And he's, oh my God, Dad, the house is on fire. The house is literally burning right now. It's like, okay, get off the phone with me, call 911, make sure everybody's outside and safe. He says, got it, hangs up. I'm not going to tell the story of the full story of what else he did right now because I don't want to turn into a teary-eyed mess while I'm going through the timeline here. But the short version is he took my instruction of get everybody out of the house and keep everybody safe, and executed that flawlessly. Like I said, I was about a half hour away from the house. By the time I got there, the fire department had arrived, put the fire out, and they were just starting to be at the point where they're rolling up hoses and packing out by the time I got there. So I checked in with everybody. I was able to find out that all the people and all the animals that lived in the house were safe. So, beyond that, nothing else matters. Once I found out that nobody was hurt, I was, all right, cool, great, no problem then. So the rest of that first night of day one was a very, very long, somewhere between a conversation and an interview with the local fire marshal, the deputy fire marshal for the city of Brooklyn Park. He talked to us for a very long time, asked us about a timeline of the day starting at about noon and going through to when we were standing there with him. And since I hadn't been there for the bulk of the fire action, my role in dealing with that was mostly just trying to help make sure that my wife's and my son's emotions kind of were managed because they were very obviously traumatized from what they'd been through. Once we got settled with everything, we had 3 cats that were in the part of the house that was burned. They were taken to an emergency medical vet center. And my in-laws took over with managing their care and treatment and everything, which was fantastic because none of us had the emotional wherewithal to deal with that with everything else going on. So once we parted ways with the fire inspector, we made our way up to my in-laws' house, about 20 minutes away from our home. We stayed with them the first day, and then the first day and the second night, we stayed with them. The next morning, day 2, post-fire, first thing I did was get an email off. As soon as I was conscious and in bed, I got an email off to my insurance agent. I didn't call my insurance company directly because, quite frankly, I didn't know for sure who my insurance company was. I have an insurance agent that shops around every 6-8 months to make sure we still have the best rates and the best deal. And she's changed it a couple of times to make sure that we've got the best coverage at the best price. So I sent her an email and said very briefly, hey, we've experienced a house fire. Can you please let me know how to start a claim with our insurance company? And I left it at that. I got up and started getting everybody fed some breakfast and kind of just managing the emotions of that first morning. Within an hour or two, I got an email. Within about an hour or two, because as soon as she got to her desk, she shot me an email back letting me know that she was going to have her assistant start the claim on our behalf and that I'd be hearing from her once the claim was started. By noonish, I was on the phone with her assistant who told me, hey, your claim has been started. I'm working to get an adjuster assigned to you through your insurance company. You'll hear from me shortly with your insurance adjuster's name, and then he'll be the one that you'll be dealing with directly going forward. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I knew the name and the phone number and the email address of the insurance adjuster for the insurance company who we'll be dealing with throughout the rest of this. And she got him assigned to our claim lightning fast. By that afternoon, the insurance company had a temporary lodging company that they use reaching out to us to help us figure out where the heck are we going to go for the short, medium, and long term of the recovery process. And by the end of day 2, we had a hotel reservation for the following evening to check in here where we are. And that was the bulk of what we accomplished on day 2. I should take a step back and point out that on day 1, we did have the recovery company out on an emergency service basis to come out and board up the door and the windows that were damaged in the fire. Day 3, we met with their entire crew, or their project management crew at the house, to go over what the process is going to look like. And over what kind of timeline. And I wish I could tell you what kind of timeline to expect, but I just don't know yet. I have been told by the different project managers. The restoration company has 3 different project managers that we're interfacing with. One is in charge of the remediation and recovery, so they're going to clean the smoke and the fire damage out. One of the project managers is just in charge of the contents of the house. They're the ones that are over there packing everything up right now. Everything in the house is on its way out. And the third project manager that we met with was the gentleman who is in charge of the reconstruction crews. So he's the one that's going to be in charge of all the rebuilding once all the packing out and restoration work is done. So we met with those guys first thing in the morning on Friday, day 3. And after that, we got checked in to the hotel here that Friday afternoon, and then we met with a representative from the Red Cross. Everybody that we were interfacing with to that point was saying, hey, call the Red Cross, call the Red Cross, we called the Red Cross. Everybody told us to, that's what we did. They came and met with us. They had some emergency assistance that they were able to offer us. They have all kinds of different things that are available to you. So if you do experience this kind of loss, yes, call them. Don't be afraid to call the Red Cross and just see what kind of help they can offer. They were helpful with getting the pharmacy to approve emergency refills of medication. They have all kinds of different things. If you don't have, if your insurance coverage is lacking, or if you're having trouble getting connected with your insurance or anything like that, They were offering all kinds of services for that. If you need medical devices, a CPAP machine, glucose testing, things like that, they have assistance for that. So call the Red Cross if you're in this situation. They have all kinds of stuff to help. But that was day 3. Day 4 and 5 was that first weekend, and to be honest, I avoided going to the house or dealing with any of it as much as I could. Crystal and I went over to the house that first Sunday for about 20 minutes, which was about all we could be in there because the smoke lingering in the house is still, to this day, pretty strong. And if we spend much more than 15-20 minutes in there, you get, especially me, I'm very sensitive to smoke smells, so I get that headache right in here. So we spent as little time as we could in there, but we did have to go over because the recovery company had emergency laundry service that they had available to us. So we went over to dig through dressers and closets for ourselves and for the kids to put out piles of, hey, here's a couple days worth of clothes. And they picked that up first thing when they started their pack out. Freya, hush. No, ma'am. Hey, you're ruining my video. Manners. Come here. You're fine. Freya's a little high-strung in the hotel, if you couldn't tell. It's okay. It's just somebody painting the door outside. You're fine. Ah, come here. Let me sit. Sit. Good girl. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yeah, so we went over that first Sunday to just put together a pile of clothes for their rush deodorizing and cleaning service that they had. So day 6, that first Monday afterwards, the cleaning or the recovery company had their packing crew there to start boxing everything up. Before anything else can happen, literally every item in the house is getting itemized, inventoried, photographed, and boxed up. And oh man, is it stressful and time consuming. We are on day 13 and they're still not finished with that part of the process yet. But so day 6, that first Monday after the fire, their crew was already there, all hands on deck, and packing stuff up and getting it out so they can get on with the rest of the repairs. Day 7 was a big milestone day. The insurance company had a fire inspector come out to survey inspect and survey the fire damaged area of the house. He was there